So hello and welcome back to Lorena's Labyrinth. If this is your first time visit, thank you for joining the channel. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for continuing to be part of my journey. Today you're going to find content related to the monthly forecast based on numerology. If you are not aware, the way you work out your numerology forecast is actually to establish what your personal year is. So if, for example, what you do is you add your day numbers, your month number, and the year number together. So 2024 equals 8. So if your birth was, say, the 25th of March, you would add 2 plus 5, that's the day numbers, equals 7, plus March, which is a 3. So there you've got a 10. Then you have the 18, because 2024 adds up to 8. And what you've got there is 1 plus 8, because we reduce it down to a primary number. So your personal year number becomes a 9. And what you would do is, based on this video that I'm giving you, you could just jump straight to number 9 and check out what the month holds for you. Now, just a little bit of insight here as well. When it comes to numbers and energy over the month, it's more interesting on a personal year perspective to see the annual overview. And of course, I've loaded that in January if you want to go back and take a look at it. In regard to the monthly forecast, they're really just snapshots of what you can expect. There's a lot of, obviously, other elements that come into play. It's not just about the numerology, but overall, April is the 4th month of the year, and 4 is an even number. So we can expect the influence of April to be one that is associated primarily with consolidation, a bit of practical application, because the 4 is associated with the feminine attributes. It's also associated with the silver color, okay? And just for those people that got a bit of gender stuff happening, when we're talking about masculine and feminine here, we're talking about energies. And this is a concept that goes back to at least the Charlian times, and where we associate concepts of nurture, nourishment, intuition, compassion, and so forth as part of the feminine energies, because this is associated with childbirth. It's the response of the result of creation, because obviously to create we have to do the nourishing, nurturing, and the Divine Mother, which is what it was referred to, has to be sensitive to the needs of the child as far as addressing their capacity to survive. So yes, this is why we say feminine energy or whatever. So the 4 is a year, just to reiterate, the 4 is a year of consolidation. A month. Let me pause and reflect on what I'm saying. The 4 refers to a month of consolidation, and it may be time for a bit of a rest as well. Just overall, for all parties, they may need to balance their energies as part of just being able to regenerate and kick on with life. But anyway, I'll go into the specifics now of the personal year number forecast for April. So for people in a personal year of 1, the month of April is one of reflection and evaluation. It's time to tie up the loose ends, time to consolidate any changes that have been in progress or process, because this is going to allow you to get more organised for the next month's growth. So just review where your actions have taken you over the last months, have a bit of a think, reflect on where you want to see the next phase of your growth over the next months. Because ideally, April is going to be a month where you put some balance and checks in place and do a moderation of where you expend your energy. So it's about expending your energy in wise ways. So think about where it's best for you to direct your energy to be able to achieve your goals over the next months. And of course, that decision is going to be informed by what has been happening over the last months, where there's any obstacles potentially, how you may have navigated them, and how you can continue to navigate them. So if you're in a personal year of 2, April is going to be a month of you applying your gifts, your newfound wisdom. Obviously, you've been developing your intuition, your gut instincts are improving, and it's now a time of action and actively drawing upon those attributes. Okay, now I say this because it's very easy to go to tap upon. How should I phrase this? Okay, whenever we're learning a new gift, it takes practice to develop that expertise. And this would be evidenced, of course, by things like neural pathways and stuff like that. That if you really want to harness the power of a gift, you've got to put it into action, because otherwise, the reality is, and this is conveyed for you this month, is use it or lose it. All right. So you're in the early days of development of these new skills and gifts. And to be able to really get the benefit of them and to ingrain them as part of your persona, then you need to be able to practice these on a regular basis, to apply them to your daily living. So the key message for a person in year of 2 over April is use your gifts. Okay, use them, practice them. Enhance them, fine-tune them, especially if it relates to things like intuition. It doesn't mean you have to go out there and try and see spirits and all the rest of it, but you can actually do exercises and activities to develop your intuitive abilities. So if you're in a personal year of 3, April is going to be a more stabilising month for you. The last months may have seen things being a little bit erratic, or even actually stagnant might be the word. You might have sort of felt like things weren't going anywhere, because April is now going to be a month of first of all, there'll be a bit of space for the consolidation of your energy and preparation for the new growth, but it's a time for actions, okay? There will be times where you will need to do some activities and actions to implement your vision, but you would be advised that within the course of applying these actions, that you need to do it when it feels right, okay? Don't try and jump the gun. Do the actions at those times where you intuitively know it's going to be the right thing to do, because otherwise you'll be running around like a chook with its head cut off, we call in Australia, just crazy without direction. Prime example of this is, I know somebody who was job hunting, and that fear thing prompted them to flick out CVs all over the place, and then they were swamped by requests for interviews and all of this kind of stuff. The idea would be for you that, yes, if you're doing job hunting, to consolidate your activities and direct them to what feels like the right jobs to apply for, as an example. And that way you'll have a clearer idea of which avenues to pursue and which ones to let go of. So that's April for a person in a personal year of 3. So for those people in a personal year of 4, the month of April is basically about getting some balance in your energy and in your lifestyle. And the reality of this is that if you've been burning the bridges at both ends, you're going to be stretched to your limits, or you may have found your limits, if you like. So the universe is saying, basically, this is a time to sit back, rest and relax. Make sure that you set time aside to self-care, and do not ignore any signs that may present in your physical behaviors or physical lifestyle that you're starting to become overstressed, because this might manifest, for example, such as sleeplessness at night and struggling to get an adequate quality of sleep. The reality is, if you don't address it, these things grow, okay? So it's make sure you do your self-care. Give yourself the adequate time that you need for a healthy life balance. And if you've got a highly stressful job, then you will need to create that time for stress release. And the other thing with this is pay attention to your diet. Make sure that you're eating healthily, and pay attention to whether or not you need to have vitamin or mineral supplements or eat certain foods so that these minerals and vitamins are at a healthy level. So that might involve going to the doctor and getting some blood tests done if you're feeling that, yes, this applies to you. I mean, you wouldn't go down to the doctors if you actually felt that you were experiencing full health. I'm not encouraging people to run their bills up, but the idea is pay attention to your health and well-being. It looks like things have been a bit stressful for you, so it's time to make sure that you care for your physical body, your emotional body, and your psychological self. So, for those people in a personal year of 5, the month of April is one to try and take a bit of a sabbatical, actually. You're encouraged to spend as much time as possible connecting to nature or being outdoors, obviously, depending on the weather and where you live, because this connection to nature will help you to build some really solid frameworks around any plans or endeavours that you're attempting to visualize for the future, that creativity. And by connecting to the nature and the outdoors, it puts you in a really good position to be able to withstand any negativity that might come at you from others in relation to your plans for the future. So, the month of April is about setting in place the basic structures of manifestation, I guess, is probably a good way of describing it. If you're in a personal year of 6, April is a month to actually start walking the talk. I love to just nut this down. It's a time to put your actions to put your thoughts and ideas into action and to do it with confidence, because the energy for you now is particularly powerful, and especially if it's associated with financial abundance. So if you're looking for work, if you're looking to invest, now is the time to be taking those actions. It's not just about thinking now. You've obviously been doing a lot of thinking about this kind of stuff over the last couple of months, so you should have a fairly balanced viewpoint of what is the best way to go forward, especially if it involves money. So just to reiterate, those people with a personal year of 6, April's a month of walking the talk, starting to put your ideas into action and do it confidently. So for the people that are in a personal year of 7, April for you is a month that encourages you to actually slow down, okay? It's time to get organised, okay? And to make sure that you get some organisation and structure into your life, and to let go of those things that are no longer working for you, that aren't valuable to you. It's time to release and let go, So for people, when they're in a personal year of 7, especially if they've got a ruling number of 7, if they have refused to slow down, then it really... Okay, the best way of me explaining this is actually referring to the tarot. If anybody has looked at the tarot deck and there's a card for the Tower, it shows people, it can be read quite negatively, but it can also be read positively, okay? So it's kind of like when a person knows that they need to do something, and it could be like, I need to get a new job, but I'll worry about that tomorrow. I actually find this scenario really quite helpful, because I've seen it so many times where people say, I hate my job, I need to get another job, I don't like my employer, I don't like my money, grumble. And when you speak to them, you say, well, have you started looking for work? They go, no, I'm too busy, I haven't got time. So they'll tend to complain about it a lot, and then all of a sudden they find that they get the sack. Their job is terminated for whatever reason, and because they haven't taken the preparation, it becomes as a bit of a culture shock for them. So there becomes this, if you like, stress related to all of a sudden being put in a position where they've got to find new employment, they've got to go through the financial anxiety, and it can be very stressful. So anyway, where I'm going with this, I'm using this scenario because what I see the month of April being for you is that you actually take some actions. If you are unhappy with certain aspects, it's time to prune it away and start doing some actions to create the future that you want. Because if you don't do it now, the universe will step in and do it for you at some point. And it's always much more comfortable when you take charge of your own life rather than waiting for the universal intervention. So right now, over the month of April, just have a bit of a review and focus on the positive, focus on your goals, and instead of saying I can't, look at how can I, okay? Reshape the thought and approach. So if you're in a personal year of 8, April is going to see you stepping into a powerful financial period right now. If you act with wisdom, you'll be able to set the wheels in motion for a very profitable next few years. So you might find yourself incredibly busy, But the reminder is also it's important to set aside the time for your loved ones and family and not be completely money and financially focused, because at the end of the day, for you to be able to achieve your goals, you actually need to make sure that you don't have any unhealthy distractions. And of course, in the early days of manifesting the abundance, it's very easy to forget that we can put in place preventative action going forward. So there is a risk that you might actually be consumed by this over the next few years. So just create some healthy patterns right now. Set aside some time for your family as you go forward into this profitable new stage. So for those people that are in a personal year of 9, and if you've lined your ducks in a row, as we say, and acted upon the opportunities that presented in the past, you should actually be in quite an abundant financial phase of your life. I say this from a general perspective, and if you've managed to do this, then you can expect that this financial success is going to continue, and it should actually accelerate, okay? Especially if you've managed to get yourself organized and there's a structured approach to your work. On the other hand, because the energy is towards the financial, those people that have been a bit slow, you might be able to expect that things are going to improve for you in positive ways. This is also a month for practical hobbies. It might be where you're able to make useful things that people might be interested in buying. So this is an opportunity, or April is a month for turning opportunities or hobbies into opportunities for financial abundance. So anyway, hobbies is definitely a primary theme for this month as well. So, my friends, that's the April forecast. Please do leave a comment and let me know how March panned out for you, whether or not the forecast was accurate. It's always interesting to do a review, certainly from my perspective, being into numerology. I enjoy seeing feedback as to whether or not what was predicted actually came to fruition. And if it didn't come to fruition, what was that about? Was it that certain events were happening? So just a reminder not to over disclose on the wall, but if you can disclose to a level where you protect your privacy, that would be very helpful for me, just to assess my understanding of numbers as well. But anyway, in the meantime, thank you for being part of my journey. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, blessed week, blessed month. Catch you on the next video. Bye bye for now.